Hello, Revere, and welcome to the Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today I have two special guests. One is an attorney at law on my left. His name is Jeff Ross with the Registry of Deeds in Boston. Welcome, Jeff.
It's great to be here.
And the gentleman on his left is Al Abrams from Trinity Engineering Company out of Charlestown.
Hello there, Morris. Pleasure to be here.
Welcome, Al.
Thank
It's
you.
an honor to have you two gentlemen there. Al, I'd like to start off with you because you are strictly a Revere resident. You mentioned something about Revere Beach before we went on the air, but you can elaborate more on it better than I can, so why don't you do that?
Well, a lot of people, when you talk about Revere, it's known for the beach. It's one of the first, it is the first public beach in America. And Revere, throughout the years, had generated, but it was always something special for kids and adults and everybody to enjoy themselves and be entertained. And now it's just a recreational place for biking, walking, and swimming, but we want to bring something more. We want to bring back some of the old Revere Beach, and there's been a little talk about it, similar to the Rose Kennedy Greenway where they have a carousel, similar to other places like in London, they have a Ferris wheel. And if you know when they have the sandcastles, which is an extremely successful event here in Revere.
Every year.
And it gives Revere a good name. And everyone likes to come to Revere for that event. And sometimes they have amusements and rides. We don't want to load it up. We just want something basic, something simple, something for the kids to generate from the spring to the fall. And we think it'd be a nice idea to bring it back.
You know what I like to see come back? My kids, my three kids, when they were very little, and I'm talking about 50 years ago, we used to take them down to a place on Revere Beach where they had the Hippodrome.
The Hippodrome.
But they had rides there, and I think that's what you were talking about, like Hurley's ride. Could you tell us a little about that? What you'd like to, and where would that be built, if I may ask you? Where would you put those things now that Revere Beach is getting them built up, though?
Well, it'd be what's called BK's Lounge, which is Shirley Ave to Beach Street. For it to be from the, I think there's a Bill Ash's is right there, and to the Banana Boat in that little area. I think Revere needs a partnership. Certainly during the last Senate race that we had here, that was brought up from the Revere candidates and some of the people backing the Revere candidates. They wanted something back here, a new partnership with DCR. DCR during the 70s took over all of Revere Beach. And we think that that deal should be rewritten, should be redone. And that's why we brought down attorney Jeff Ross. He's going to be talking about the new Revere Beach and new places and what people should be looking for if they buy into Revere Beach. If you come back from an empty nest home and you're buying along Revere Beach and you're buying condominiums, which they're building now on Revere Beach, or if you're the existing condominium. So we'd like to talk about the Homestead Act and the Registry of Deeds also.
Right. Before we get into the Homestead Act, I'd like to introduce to the people who out there, Mr. Jeff Ross,
It's great to be here. Thank
Registry
you.
of Deeds.
Yes.
I understand you're running for re-election for the Registry of
I'm actually running as the seat is an open seat. Mickey Roach served on the Registry of Deeds since 2002, and he retired. He gave great service to Suffolk County. I am an attorney with a real estate background. I grew up in the real estate business. My father was a laborer, and he ended up eventually starting his own company and becoming a real estate developer. He encouraged me to go on to law school, and I was the first in my family to graduate from both college and law school. And so, you know, one of the things that I wanted to do once, you know, I raised my family was give back to the community. So I'm running for Register of Deeds. I have a legal background, and the registry is where your property rights are either vested in you by the filing of a deed or an easement for a parking space, or you know, a homestead, which would protect certain property interests. Yes, and it also has a land court where property rights can be taken away from you. So I think that it's imperative so that errors don't happen that could be devastating to families, that we elect an attorney to that position. I'm one of only 2 attorneys in the race. So I came out here to talk to my friends in Revere, to make new friends in Revere, and to, you know, just...
Can I ask you a legal question?
Of course.
If I may? As a matter of fact, I'd like to take it off the computer here. Could you explain to me as a layman, you mentioned homestead.
Yes.
What is exactly the homestead? Act?
The Homestead Act actually was something that is, it amended what is what is already a part of the statutory scheme, which gives property owners, if you own a home, an exemption of $125,000 automatically. That would protect you against creditors. If you had health care costs that exceeded what the insurance was, it would protect you against those. The Homestead Act was amended in 2011, and it created certain things for seniors 62 and older. It allowed for a married senior to file a Homestead Act request on behalf of one party, which would protect up to $500,000, and married seniors would get a double exemption up to $1 million. It wouldn't protect you against like a mortgage foreclosure, federal, state, or local tax
In other
liens.
words, if I owe taxes to the IRS or the state and the bank, that would not protect me at all?
A homestead would not protect you from that, nor would it protect you from a judgment from a creditor, for example, for a lemon vehicle that you bought that, you know, the courts decided that you still had to pay that loan on. What if that lien was adjudicated against you, that could be attached to your property. So the homestead, if you refinance your house, it subrogates a homestead exemption. So every time you purchase a property, or every time you do a refinance, or you take out
buy another homestead?
you got to file with the Registry of Deeds. It's a $35 fee. It can be done right down at the registry. You can fill it out and file it there.
I think we brought a copy of the Homestead Act. There's some of the
Yes.
some of the forms.
Yes, we brought a copy of it.
And I believe the producer took some. He took the
he's gonna
forms.
show it on
He's going to
TV?
show the forms.
Okay, so when
they're,
the
they're
form-
not a hard form to fill out.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
It's a very simple form. It's 2 pages. It requests basic information. I brought a copy of it here. I don't know if they could zoom
And
in
then
on
I
it, but
think it's on TV right
Yep.
now.
it
Is that the form right there?
yes, that's the form right there.
Explain that to the people.
So basically that form is, it's the Declaration of Homestead. You fill it out, you put your name, your address, the town that you live in. You have to be in Suffolk County to file it at the Suffolk County Register of Deeds. It's at 24 New Chardon Street in Boston near Haymarket. And basically you put your owner information, you put down your spouse's name if you are married, your address, and then you would take that information, you would sign it, and you would want to take that document to a notary public who would then witness your signature.
So they have notaries at the Registry of Deeds
Notarize
also.
it. Yes, yeah, you could do it there, but you could also do it, you know, where you are and here in Revere, and then you could
At your
have
lawyer's
someone
office?
take it and file it. You could do it, yeah, at your lawyer's office. You could fill it out at a bank. If you didn't want to travel to Boston, you could fill it out, notarize here. You could mail it in with a check made out to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. You could pay the fee, or you could have one of your family members deliver it.
Right, Mr. Ross, that $35, is that for the life of the homeowner's home?
Yes, that fee is a one-time fee that you pay. The homestead would be on there for the entire duration of the time that you own the property, or for your lifetime. Unless you refinance, or
Right,
unless
so
you...
every time you
Yep,
refinance, you
yep.
got to pay the $35 additional.
Yes.
How come it's not publicized a lot? I didn't know about it, and I'm sure a lot of other people don't know about it.
Sure. It's what we're trying to do in the legal profession. I'm an attorney, and you know, with my real estate background, one of the things that we're trying to do out there is just raise awareness about it, so families and seniors know that it is an option. But we're trying to get it as a general practice in real estate closings. And so part of you know, what we would like to see when someone is signing a mortgage document is that they have representation by an attorney who's explaining all of the different pieces of the mortgage or the home purchase, and then making sure that the homestead exemption is automatic. What banks are doing sometimes is they send out a representative who's a notary public, but they're not, you know, advising you about your legal protections.
Question?
Yes.
You mentioned 62 years of age, correct?
Yes.
What happens if you're younger, like let's say you're a young married couple,
Yes.
and you buy a home? Can you still take out that Homestead Act?
You can.
But what is the difference,
so-
excuse me, sir, what is the difference from that person having
Sure.
it to the senior? I mean, what is the difference in between?
So basically, if you are, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it, Morris.
Okay.
You basically, if you have a home, and you are married, you file a homestead exemption, and it would be at a limit of $250,000.
Oh, but if you're over 62?
Yes,
it
if you're
goes-
over 62, it goes up. So it protects you from
Okay.
cost overruns on Medicare or Medicaid. And if you are basically not, if you own a home and you have a joint tenancy with your daughter or your son or your nephew, each of you can file individually for a $250,000 exemption.
Very good.
So to be, so if your son or daughter is on the deed,
Yes.
everybody would do a homestead, or would be one homestead?
Yes, if the property was conveyed to you as joint tenancies, which is a legal term, it means
Right,
your
More
partners.
than one person owning
Yeah,
it?
you can do a joint tenancy, more than one person. There's a joint tenancy with a right of survivorship that would automatically pass it to the other owner. So each individual
Would have to
owner
pay
has to have the ownership as a joint tenancy, not as an LLC or a corporation or some partnership that would be filed with Secretary of State, but you actually have to own it. And then each person has to file the homestead paperwork, pay separate fees, because if for example you're the primary owner and you share the home with your daughter, your homestead exemption is not going to protect the property against creditors that your son or daughter or nephew.
Predated, you mean predated it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it would protect you against your own debts. Yes, not the debts of another.
I got to go back to Mr. Abrams again because I see him smiling. You got a great family, and I
Well,
met
thank
them.
you.
You have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful daughter, Carrie Abrams, who we had on the show, and you got a nice-looking boy, Corey Abrams.
Thank
Now,
you.
Corey, tell us a little about Corey. By the way, Corey was supposed to be here today, folks, but he's so busy on his job, he had to call me and cancel it, so he apologizes. Go ahead.
Oh, Corey's my oldest, and he's very busy during the season. And when we saw you, he thought he would have a couple days off, but everything mounts on him. He's a family man. He has 4 beautiful children, my grandchildren. One is at Suffolk, and she is a junior right now, and the others in high school and elementary school. So he's very, very busy during the summer. You don't have enough hours in the day for 4 kids between the tennis and lacrosse and swimming and gymnastics and cheerleading. He's all over the place. So he's very busy today to pay for all these things.
Right, exactly. What does he do, if I may ask you?
He's into the Governor's Garden landscaping, and he has property with us, and he's very, very busy with his ordeals with Governor's Garden and Kinship Floral here in
Right,
Revere.
and talking about Kinship Flora, I got to say this, folks. If you've never seen the Kinship Flora, you should go down and take a look at their flowers and their bouquets. But you can tell us better about that. Go ahead, Al.
My daughter was an attorney, and
She's a lawyer, too?
She's a lawyer also. She graduated from Suffolk Law School, and she was very, very upset because she went to Suffolk University, and should I go to Suffolk? And I said, it's like getting a triple eagle if you're at Boston College. You're a triple eagle, you went to Boston College High School, then the university, then the law school. So Suffolk has their ramps. I don't know if you know that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a double ramp, whatever that means.
Oh yes, yeah, she's double.
So when she was in court, and we were talking about when she first appeared, I wanted to go see her, and she's in East Boston Court. And she's doing one of her first cases, and I wanted to watch her. And she's standing in back of where the lawyers stand. She's standing way to the back, to the rear. And the judge, I'll never forget, says, "Counselor, could you please come up to the bench?" And she says, "But Your Honor," I says, "Attorney Abrams, please come up to the bench." So she said, "But Your Honor, I'm trying to tell you something." Please come up to the bench. And if you saw my daughter, she's 5'0". And as she walked to the bench, the judge couldn't see her because she was so
Short?
She I don't want to say the word, but yes.
Sorry, Terry.
So, but everything that I have ever done, and I played football with the University of New Hampshire, and I was in all kinds of activities. She's the only one I'm scared to death of. So, so even though she's 5 foot, she terrifies me. So I try to keep on the good side of Carrie. But when you're starting a family, it's very, very hard to bring your daughter to the court. I'm sure that the judges don't like it. So when the opening happened here in Revere of her owning this floral shop, a number of people came to her, and she had experience at Governor's Garden, which was in Winthrop, and she took advantage of it, and she built up the business, and she's done very, very well. And because of Revere helping her out in a new business, and it's been very, very successful.
Right.
So now she's into weddings. She's been doing weddings all spring and summer long, and knock on wood, and hopefully to keep on continuing. People like and they admire her work.
Right. But one of the ones who really admires her work is an outfit called Lombardo.
Lombardo's been very good to my
Right.
daughter.
Now, Lombardo used to have a place, if my memory is correct, in East Boston and in Randolph. Are they still both in the same?
The one in fact, former Mayor Colella used to have all his functions at Lombardo's, but Lombardo's got a little older and older, and people wanted more elaborate weddings, and they needed a bigger facility, so they built a bigger facility down in Randolph, and they built a nightclub also called Vincent's from Vincent Lombardo, and they've been very, very successful because they really get into their clients' needs at Lombardo's. And when she first approached Lombardo to become one of the florists there, she helped them out. I think it was the day after Valentine's Day. Some of the orders weren't coming in for one of their customers, and they called up Kerry because they had met Kerry, and she fulfilled the orders right after Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day is very, very busy for a florist. And she came in there, and with no huff and a puff and bang, she was working for Lombardo's ever since, and they enjoy her work. They love her work, and they have a nice relationship, and they're getting along very well. And I'm sad to say Sal Lombardo, who was a very good friend of mine, who was, I know, from the North End in East Boston, would have loved her.
Is he still around, Sal?
Sal passed away. There is a street named after Sal Lombardo, and it's by Central Square. But Sal was a special guy, and Sal did an awful lot for East Boston.
Years ago at Lombardo's, the one in East Boston, I remember that. They had, I think it was a Thanksgiving dinner for senior citizens. And guess who the special guest of honor was there? Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was, I believe, the Attorney General at the time.
He was at the Attorney General?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he came and made a speech here. Then later on, he became the mayor in New York.
Yeah.
So-
They had a lot of famous people come there to Lombardo's. And East Boston misses it, but they have Spinelli's now. Spinelli's used to work for Lombardo's, and that's where she learned the business. And then they built up their business, which is in Day Square, and then also in Linfield. And a local developer, which would be Del Vecchio, they're the contractor for Spinelli's.
You mentioned Spinelli's, but isn't there across the street as you come in another store, as you come around the curve, that a restaurant, a nice Italian restaurant? I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Centapio's or
No, I just
in East Boston?
right, yeah, not far.
Oh,
from Spin-
Javelli's.
Javelli's, that's the one I was thinking.
Javelli's has a presidential room. They had President
You mean
Clinton come there. What happened was, what's the restaurant in South Boston? It's on West Broadway. It's very, very famous there, right by the gas station. It's in. President Clinton was going to be there.
Right.
He was going to go to South Boston.
You know, it's funny. We got you mentioned some great restaurants, and we got one right here in Revere. We got loads of great restaurants. One right across the street from the studio here. Valari's, I believe, is a great restaurant, too. So they have good Italian food, but there's so many in Revere.
There's so many in Revere.
Yeah, the Mino's, I could go down.
The Mano's is a nice family restaurant.
Jeff, I want to get back to you for a
Sure.
minute.
Jeff, who does live in Boston, he comes to one of our restaurants in Revere, loves to come to Kelly's.
Oh, I love Kelly's. Yeah, I
roast
sometimes.
beef down the beach.
Yeah, late night trip to
Numero
Kelly's.
uno.
Yeah,
Numero
it is
uno.
great.
Yeah, they make the best roast beef sandwich, and I'll tell you, the people, I go to the senior center. Oh, by the way, talking about the senior center, I have something, if it's like, but Jeff, before I talk about this, I wanted to ask you, when people come in, if they wanted to contact you about the Homestead Act,
Sure.
and then can they call the...
I believe he also has a card that says
Yes.
Jeff's information.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
yeah,
my,
so you give them
my
a
contact.
phone number if they
Sure.
wanted to call you?
Yep,
and get some questions answered?
Yes, indeed. My telephone number at my law office is 617-338-4040. And I have to tell you, I love the clam chowder at Kelly's. That's really great, too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Or we can make an appointment at Kelly's and meet them out
Yeah,
there. They're
actually,
outside
that's where
dining.
we're going to start having office hours is at Kelly's Roast Beef.
Right. I got to get this, and I promised the senior center I would do that. Is it okay with you?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
By the way, folks, you're going to love this out there. On Thursday, September the 15th, 2016. Write this down, folks. September the 15th on a Thursday. We're going to have a Golden Gala 50-year plus. That means people that have been married are going to be able to come to the Matola Post, have a nice dinner, enjoy themselves. If you're not married, but you are a widower or a widow, and you're over 50 years, you're welcome to come there too and enjoy yourself. And we haven't set a price yet, but believe you me, when we do, it's going to be very reasonable. And it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. And we love to have you all come down. So that will be on September the 15th, which is on a Thursday. So any seniors, well,
Yeah.
you're not a senior yet.
Not yet.
neither
I am
am
a
I.
senior.
You are a senior?
I am a senior.
Then I expect to see you there. Can I count on it, Al?
I will be there.
Okay.
I love dining with you, Morris.
Do you
I'm
bring your
looking
wife
forward
with
to
you?
it. I will bring my wife.
Yeah,
Now you're going to have to call my wife because she doesn't listen to me. Although I've been married for 50 years and I always do have the last word.
Do you?
Yes, dear. Right away, dear.
See,
right away. I'll do anything you want, dear.
See, in my house, the difference between you and I, in my house, I'm the boss. My wife just gives the orders, that's all, okay? I just wanted you to know that.
So you may have to help me. You may have to call her.
Jeff, I got to ask you, as an attorney and registry of deeds, have you any had something that came up that was a little berserky, if I may use that word, you know, something that was
Sure.
out of the ordinary?
I think, well, first of all, I want to remind people that the election is Thursday, September 8th, which is a week before the senior event up here. So it's on a Thursday this year because the Tuesday is a holiday. So I'm here to ask for your votes and your support on Thursday, September 8th. As far as berserky goes, I would say, you know,
An oddball
it's-
case that came up, like something on a Homestead Act or
Yeah,
something.
I would say, I mean, in my law practice, I mean, sometimes what happens is you have a variety of issues that are urgent. So someone might have, you know, something that's coming up next week that they need to get filed, you know, and the order of magnitude, actually 1 year got to the point where one of my clients' spouse was very ill with cancer, you know, and they needed their case handled first. So, like, I would say prioritizing and some of the legal skills that I would bring to the Registry of Deeds, and making sure that we're serving all of the public, and that we're there answering the telephones and providing service. So we will also come out into the community. I will be at Kelly's Roast Beef anytime I'm invited.
Okay. I got to ask you this quick question. We got about 4 minutes left.
Paul
So-
Taney, who was a Registry of Deeds, who was before Mickey Roach. Paul Taney, near the end of the day, used to march around with he was an ancient and honorable. And they have the Commodore hat, and they have the sword. Do you have any costumes you'd be wearing there? Or?
I don't. I'm gonna have to rely on the neighborhood and you.
How long have you been with the Registry of Deeds? I forgot to ask you that.
I've been an attorney since I came here for law school. I graduated from law school in 1997. And
1997? That's 19
yes.
years ago.
I know, and then I worked at Harvard at the Kennedy School of Government for a while, and then I decided I wanted to get out and practice law. So I've been doing that for quite a while.
Now,
about
this
15,
Registry of
16
Deeds,
years.
this
Yes.
makes money. Suffolk County
It does.
is a money maker. Now,
Yeah.
the rest of the Registry of Deeds, I don't think they make enough money as Suffolk County. Is
Right.
that correct?
Suffolk County actually handles about 119,000 transactions a year.
Wow.
It takes in $70 million, which goes back to the state budget. One of the things I want to do there when I get elected to the registry on Thursday, September 8th, is I want to work with the legislature to make banks pay more fees for recording, because it's a way to raise tax revenue to pay for things, you know, the infrastructure that the state needs, transportation, which we're struggling with the infrastructure there. Also, the Community Preservation Act money is collected at the Registry of Deeds. So the Community Preservation Act is something that each town and city votes to adopt.
Which
like
I'm
Boston,
not sure Revere is part of. We
Chelsea.
have to check that out.
Exactly. So if you adopt it and you vote on it, it's a ballot referendum in a November election. Then what happens is you get matching money back from the state to build senior centers, to preserve open space where you would, for example, want to build the carousel.
That's how it all ties in.
Yeah, it would give money back to each community and it matches you. And what is not given by the funds that are collected or not sufficient from the funds that are collected at the registry come from the general fund from the state.
I want to thank you. We got 2.5 minutes left. Al, take a minute to wrap it up and then give Mr. Ross another minute.
Well, thank you very much, Morris. And we hope that everybody remembers to come out and vote.
Sure.
September.
Yes.
September.
Thursday,
8th?
September 8th, yes.
That'll be the first Tuesday.
That would be, it's the first Thursday because it's a Thursday this year. So
Oh, really?
Tuesday's a holiday, so it's important to remember that it's a Thursday,
Oh.
That's
September
going to be
8th.
something different.
Yeah, it's going to be a little different. We've had Thursday elections before, but it's going to be a Thursday
And
instead.
I'd like to thank you for coming to Revere.
Yeah,
And
I'd
we're
love
gonna
it.
go. We're going to go to Kelly's and right afterwards. You're invited if you want to come.
Absolutely.
No, thank you. I have an
We're gonna make
appointment,
a
but
beeline.
let me tell you, I feel bad that I can't go because I've had the Kelly people here, but I also had their food. I love their chicken dinner. I love their roast beef. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I'm starting to gain a lot of weight. That's good for me in there. But I got to say, I want to thank
thank
you
you very
both
much
for
for having
coming
us
out.
on here.
Thank you
Jeff,
so
I want
much
to
for
thank you
having
for
me. I
taking the
appreciate
time,
it.
and good luck to you on your
Thank
run.
you. Yes.
For the
thank you.
Registry of Deeds. And now I want to thank you for
thank
coming
you.
down here. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you take off your busy schedule to come down here, which was nice. And I want to thank your family and wish
They
them the
send their
best of luck.
regards, Morris. They always
Right.
love watching you and listening to you.
Right, and I want to say God bless both of you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Right, God bless our troops and the people of Revere, but most of all, God bless our great country, the United States of America. And by the way, we have great guests, and you two are one of the great guests that we have coming up here. So, folks, until the next time we meet again, thank you for listening.